Hello people, my name is Asa. Welcome back to my channel Asa Builds, or a warm welcome if this is your first time watching one of my videos. We are of course here for another Sims 4 speed build. I do apologise that it has been a little bit longer than I had at least been anticipating before I've gotten another video out. The reason for this is because I have been doing something that I said that I wasn't going to do, which is work on a 64 by 64 lot, simply because, as I've explained in previous videos, the delay and sort of slowness that I experience playing on an old gen Xbox when working on the bigger lots. But what I have been doing is building something a little bit different, and that is a UFC octagon arena. So it's taken a heck of a lot of time. I'm nearing the end of that project at the moment, so that speed build video will be coming hopefully in the not too distant future. But now to talk about what I'm doing here today. So I wanted to build a kind of little cottage, but also sort of having kind of Hobbit house style vibes, if you will. So I wanted it to feel kind of like it is just emerged from the ground, which is why we've got the roof covered in grass, and we will cover that grass with even more shrubs and flowers in the coming minutes. I wanted it to feel super overgrown. Like I said, I wanted it to appear as if it's kind of emerged from the ground, which does mean covering it in heaps of the plants, as I say. But on the inside, I wanted it to feel very rustic, very quaint, like a little granny cottage. The sim that I've made to go to live in this house for my own personal gameplay is a sim that I've named Genevieve Green. She's an elderly lady. She is obsessed with gardening. She loves being outdoors. So this house is really just built for your kind of loner gardener, perhaps elder sim. So what I'm doing at first is going through all of the shrubs and plants in the build and buy menu, and literally just sticking them anywhere I can fit them as randomly as possible. Of course, nature isn't designed in perfect symmetry and patterns and whatnot, and with wanting this to look very natural, I didn't want to give it too much of a specific design, so I'm using all sorts of shrubs, flowers, bushes, that sort of thing, to really create that realistic overgrown effect. I do then go through into the debug menu, some of the shrubs and what's the word? Like the ivy, that's what I mean. Some of those in the debug menu aren't restricted by needing to be placed against a wall as they are in the build by menu, so it gives you that bit more freedom to really help me stick them to the sides and appear to create the curved effect of my roof still with the flowers. So as you can see, this was certainly a lengthy process. I tried using this tree. I really liked this tree, and I did kind of want to make it fit into the build, but then just given the sheer size of it on such a tiny lot, because this is only a 20 by 15 lot size, it was just overshadowing the property too much, and I didn't like the darkness that it was creating with the literal shadows. I wanted this to look really sunny and bright and sort of whimsical, I guess almost like a fairy tale house. And I think that tree adding that many shadows just took away from it, and also took away from the shape. So yeah, I do get rid of that in just a moment. I do also play around with the colour of the walls, the front facing wall. I know that most of it is covered by plants, and at first I did have it in this kind of like dirt looking wallpaper, if you will, just to again create the illusion that the house has just emerged from the ground, from the mud. But then I end up changing that to like a brick pattern, just to create a little bit, well, the illusion at least of a little bit more stability to the structure from the interior. And I use that same brick pattern inside, just in a couple of different shades of paint. I did find that I had so much fun working on such a tiny lot size. I I work on bigger projects all the time. I'm drawn to taking on something that ends up taking me days and days, and I was actually able to complete this one in a whole day, which, you know, it feels good to hit that point where you've finished a project. And obviously when you tackle the really big ones, they can take so long. And as I've found with my UFC Octagon at the moment, I'm kind of slightly burning out on my motivation, I guess, toward it now, simply because every single click takes about 30 seconds to respond, so it takes so long, whereas everything on this beautiful tiny lot was so speedy. I wasn't having any issues with delay or frame rate. So it was just a really nice, refreshing change to be able to experience the game, I guess, as it is supposed to be running and not incredibly slow. So I'm coming to the end of adding the shrubs and that now, excuse me. So yeah, as you can see, it's really coming together. I love the whole complete mix up of random plants and shrubs just dotted here, there and everywhere. And you'll be able to start to see what I was intending to create with that overgrown look as I am finishing it off. So then when I went to look inside the house, obviously with all these shrubs and whatnot, it felt a little bit too cramped. So I went away and removed some of the ones that were overhanging a little bit too much into the property, just to give a clearer view and better access when you're actually playing with a sim in this household. It's a tiny building. I think it's like 7 by 8 squares, I want to say, or 7 by 6. 8 by 6, I don't know, I was trying to catch it then, but I couldn't tell. But anyway, so it only features a few rooms. We've got a living room and kitchen in one at the front, with a small dining area, and then a small single bedroom and a wee bathroom just at the back. I do then also build a wee outhouse, I guess, that just features some utility-based stuff that I can't fit into the house, like a fridge. My boyfriend was saying to me when I was making it, he was like, in a house like this, I feel like they would have like their main fridge out in a little garage outhouse kind of thing. And I was like, would they? And he felt pretty confident. And so I went with it, because what always happens to me, right? I don't know why. This has happened so many times that you would think that I'd have learned my lesson by now. But I always seem to build a kitchen, and then like I'll finish the kitchen, and then I'll go, oh, I've not got a fridge. You know, I'll literally just forget the fridge every time, which is daft because, you know, it's a key piece of a kitchen. But thankfully, with my boyfriend coming up with that answer, it gave me an option to put the fridge out the back rather than try and cramp it in, because as you can see, I am running so low on space. As I said, then we went with the brick pattern interior as well, just to keep up with that rustic vibe. And then I'm just going through and adding some wall decorations now, just to clutter the place up a bit. I feel like in a tiny home like this, it would be highly cluttered, so I have tried to achieve that, and it was super fun to just go through all of the miscellaneous items, the clutter, the accents, all that, and fill this place up. And it was so quick to do as well. It was so speedy, as opposed to like a house that I've built with like, I don't know, 5 or 6 bedrooms, and then you're going through and adding the same bits and bobs of clutter into every one. This was just super quick and efficient and fun to do, and I really enjoyed it. I tried a few different rugs for the bedroom, as you can see there, but ended up opting for the simple furry ones, sized up. I loved, well, at least the faux fur rug, you would assume. I love these rugs. I've got a cream one in the living room as well. I just think they are effortlessly stylish. I decided to keep this house off the grid. At least I think I've managed to. So that's why you'll see the only lighting in there is candles. We've got a sink that was at least in the off the grid menu. So yep, one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen. And a bath and shower combo that was also listed in the off-the-grid plumbing menu. So yeah, your sim will have really low bills and be, I guess, environmentally friendly as well. if they want to live here. As I said, I built this with an elderly lady in mind, so a lot of the decorations that I've gone for are very floral, quite old-fashioned and traditional, but also trying to keep up a rustic kind of countryside cottage sort of vibe. I chose to use green in the kitchen just because, of course, with green being the main colour of plants and this clearly being a plant lover's home, I wanted to keep up that kind of natural planty sort of colours, I guess. Not that planty is a word, but we'll go with it. I decided to add the wee towel rail just there, but then what I do in a minute is cut out that wall so that I can attach it to the edge of the counter. I'm sure you'll have seen that before, like a kind of, there you go, like tea towels hanging off the edge of the counter, and I just thought that was quite an effective space-saving solution. There we go, just fitting that sink in now. I love the cottage living counters, but what I don't like so much is the cupboards that come with them. And you know what it is? It's the little frilly bits, the little bits of lacy fabric. I think because of the colours that they've chosen for them. So like on the green swatch, you've got a bit of blue fabric, like you can see above the cooker. I just don't like it. I think the colours are kind of clashy, and yeah. So, but you know, we made it work as usual. And I just ended up using a couple of the ones that involve the frilly blue fabric parts. Filling the kitchen counters up with heaps of clutter now, as I said. Lots of cottage living. If you wish to download this pack, then cottage living is 100% important for this one. The only other pack that I would say is super important would be cats and dogs. Again, not as important as the cottage living, but there is quite a number of elements of that from that pack involved as well, because I just think it lends in nicely to the cottage sort of styling. As you can see, I'm adding a couple of fridges now that are going to go in that outhouse that I mentioned, and adding some, I've just realised, so I've added some cat food and not added a cat bowl or litter tray for the cat. So yeah, nor did I make a cat to go with the sim, but I guess she's just a sim with some random cat food, just in case, maybe for the strays. But yeah, anyway, so into the bedroom and bathroom now, adding clutter, lots of bits around the sink and bedside tables, and back in the kitchen doing the same again. Lots of rustic pieces. I love their ornaments that came with the cottage living pack for cluttering up a kitchen, like that big chicken and the tea set, and the different jugs and whatnot. It's all really cute and really works well with that sort of rustic kitchen styling. I didn't want to go too extreme with cosmetic clutter in this Sim's bedroom. My thinking was, you know, she's very green-fingered. She's more fussed about being outside, tending to her plants, rather than tending to her face, I guess. So she's not got heaps of makeup and whatnot, but just a couple of bits throughout. But yeah, just in case you didn't know, when it comes to cluttering up kitchen sides, a quick tip to basically, so if you find that, you know, you want to put quite a number of bits onto your kitchen counter and they are kind of snapping into place and into the fixed positions on the counter, what I would say to do is to place your item onto the counter initially and then pull your counterpiece away with the items on it from the place where it was originally positioned. Then pick up the items individually and they will be fixed at the right height of your counter. And then if you, well, at least on console, you press left trigger twice to change it to free placement. And then you can literally move the item wherever you want onto the counterpiece. And that allows you to create much more realistic looking clutter rather than a few bits sort of plonked randomly and awkwardly onto your kitchen side. Just going in with a bit of terrain paint in the front garden now. I made that wider, then I ended up deciding to keep it, and again decided to add more plants and shrubs around the front. I figured if the house was covered in flowers and shrubs, then it would make sense for the front garden to be as well. But yeah, like you'll be able to see, I've obviously used shrubs and plants and flowers and whatnot from all the different packs that I own, which, as I've said previously, isn't all of them yet, unfortunately. It's something that I'm working on. So if you were to look in the gallery to download this build, and it looks like it's using absolutely heaps of packs, and you're thinking, oh gosh, I could never get that, never use that property for myself because I don't own anywhere near all of these packs, then it's probably not as problematic as it looks, because like I say, I've used plants and flowers from every single pack that I own. So the key thing that you're probably going to be missing if you don't own certain packs from that it says that I've used would probably just be a few shrubs. So you can simply fill those back up with ones from the packs that you do own if you wanted. Alright, coming toward the end of this video, now you'll see a few screenshots as usual of the interior and exterior, just so you can see the completed project. If you do wish to download this build, my EA ID is miss_Asa. I will put that in the description down below as well. And this build is CC free, which simply means that you'll be able to download it directly as is straight from the gallery. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope to be back soon with the speed build of my UFC Octagon Arena. And yeah, I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you are able to leave a like, comment, or consider subscribing, it would be super appreciated. Alright, bye!